Bruh, how many years were you and Melvin at the same shop next to each other?
Like 2.
Yeah.
2 years.
It was like a long 2 years. That was like the good times at CUB.
Yeah.
It was like I think it was the last like era of like
The All-Stars.
Yeah, for real. Like I'm being honest. That was the last era of the All-Stars.
So what would you call? What are these gonna be? These what's around the?
That's just some shit we see in anime often.
The little sticker
Yeah, it's
thing.
just like, so what I'm using those specifically for is, obviously you can make things more interesting when you have a foreground, midground, background.
Of course.
It allows you to add more depth.
Right.
And one of the other things these are very good for is if you're just doing a character and your character is just standing there, then your tattoo doesn't really have any flow. But you can do that same character with this around there, and now you have some movement in your tattoo. So that's what that's for. And also, another thing that's pretty good for is, ready as you can be?
Yeah.
Alright. What else did it say? Is, just also like sometimes characters don't have many colors, so now you do this background and you can add some different colors, so now the tattoo appears more colorful.
Right.
All right, bro, here we go.
Yep.
What? I'm confused already.
So are you doing a transition from the Naruto tattoo right now? Doing that blend?
No, I'm not gonna focus on having like a really smooth blend between the two. I mean, he's just gonna have a lot of different anime characters from different animes, yeah. So it's like I'm not worried about it flowing together and nothing like that. I just don't like this little space that was left open right there. So.
Okay. Yeah, me and Seth was so confused at that first
that's
one.
all that is. That's all it is. I want to feel this little space right here.
We was just acting like we knew the game plan, bro.
I know the game plan. Yeah. But like I said, it don't ask questions and don't just try to copy me. That's really just some shit you shouldn't be trying to do.
Okay.
Especially when you guys see him do something different from me. Like Dan Roger tattoo, completely different.
Yeah, just ask questions.
Yeah.
So when you're lining, do you prefer to like just double up your lines, or do you do like do you move your machine circular motions and clean it up that way?
No, if I want to make a line a little thicker, I just put a line right next to the line I just did. I feel like putting in a line causes less trauma than the small circular motion.
Okay.
So, but you'll see even like, if there's like really tight, small areas that I decide, hey, this is really small, I'm gonna fill it in with the liner. I don't even use little circle motions in that. I just line, just to fill it in real quick. Because there's only 2 rules for tattooing, y'all. Everything else is open for interpretation, but the 2 things that are not open for interpretation. 1, tattoo needs to look good. 2, the person should not leave scars. That's it.
Okay.
Because there's going to be different ways that you can achieve things, and as long as you're making it look good and causing as little trauma as possible, you're doing good.
And when you have your voltage on for this lining process?
So
Very important lesson. Heat.
yeah, this is gonna be so tattooing and voltages for me, in my opinion, I think they're silly. They don't go together, and the reason I think it's silly is because every machine needs a different amount of power to run properly. Also, every spot on the body is going to be a little different. Like some spots, the skin's already really tight. Other spots, the skin is real bouncy. And you're going to have to adjust voltage according to all of that. So my key for voltage is you want to set your machine up. So if you're trying to figure out, hey, what should this voltage be on for me to do the line work? This is how I would figure it out. I would do a line, right? And one of two things is gonna happen. Let's just go with option A. I do a line, and the line is solid. I'm not surprised. But so if it's solid, now what I want to do is turn my machine down a little bit, do another line.
Okay.
Look, it's solid again.
Okay.
I'm going to repeat those steps until I do a line and it is no longer solid. And then what I'll do is just
Go back up
to that previous step.
Okay.
Because, like I said, the goal is always going to be to get the job done while causing as little trauma as possible. So yeah, you can turn this motherfucker all the way up and get a solid line, but now you may be causing more trauma than that's needed. And then let's go the opposite. Let's say I do a line and it's light, then I'll just turn it up a little bit, do another line. Turn it up a little bit, do another line until it's solid, and then just stay there. Don't go any heavier than you need to.
Always give it 110%. You know, I think by the time like I had met him, I had kind of jaded for a little while because I was like the best artist in that, you know, in that section of the shop anyway. And so I got kind of complacent for real. Like I don't think I had gotten good that whole like year before I met him. And I was like, you know, my tattoos look good. Life is okay. Ain't tripping. But when he came and gave me like that, like how competitive he is and just like how hard he goes. Yeah, man, you know, how hard he go on every tattoo. I was like, man, like I can't let this dude just show me up. And so it became like a friendly rivalry. Like obviously we became like best friends in the process. But it was always like, man, you going hard, I gotta go hard too. So he definitely made tattooing fun for me again. But even now, with us not working together, I'm still like, man, I gotta snap on it because I know Roger's snapping on it.
Yeah, so before, like when I got to City of Ink, all I knew was work. Exactly what Melvin said. I just show up and I work. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna out hustle everybody.
Right.
But then I was like, man, Melvin, and I say this in all due respect, Melvin is doing worse tattoos than me, but they look better than mine. So how is this? And that's because Melvin was just like very into art and making sure that you know, design was appealing. Like, and I think that's a very good thing to know. Like, the art is gonna trump the technical application.
Right.
So like, it's okay if you got a little shaky line here, or your shade is not so smooth here or there. Like, if the design is appealing, it's gonna be appealing regardless.
Right.
So that was one of the things I picked up from Melvin as well. Like, and I started just leaning more and more towards art. Versus before then, I was just tattooing to tattoo and pay bills.
That was just cool to have somebody beside me that wanted to level up too. Like we got running jokes that's always like Dragon Ball related, but we be like, gotta go to the hyperbolic time chamber. We gotta be serious about it. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you want to do this and like not get better?
Yeah.
No longer Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan 2. Yeah. Like, you gotta keep it going.
That's a really good. Damn. Who Goku? Who Vegeta?
Oh man.
Well, I mean, this is turning into just a lot of B-roll. Like, it's not gonna be like some long segment, you know? it's kind of more gonna lead into like when I do talk to Roger for the documentary. Kind of that is like an intro, and then like it will go to whatever real conversation we get. But it got some good sound bites in here.
Either like the dark spot first.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like to try and say the darkest values for the focal point, which is the character.
Okay, gotcha.
Remember all this other shit around it?
Just,
It's just there.
yeah, for flow.
Yeah, it's there for flow. It's there for background. It's there so I can add a few more colors. But is it important? Not really.
So the black ink is for what's most important. Gotcha.
I would always put the black ink in the areas that are most important.
I think that's important for you, Seth, because I can see you doing a lot of filler.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know you want the heavier